Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good afternoon. Please hit that like button. As you guys come in, please hit that like button. How is everyone doing? How is everyone feeling? Let me know in the chat how you guys are doing today. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, please, and thank you. Okay, so we have lots to talk about today. We're catching up on the updates in relation to Wendy. Um, you guys know we have been covering Wendy and Eddie's story very, very carefully and very, very closely. So we will continue and talk about that. Um, Aside that, I do have some other stories like Kmichelle and the ladies over on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I do also have some updates on Stacy from Real Housewives of Potomac. I have some news on Ashley Dabby, and I have a few others to cover as well. But please hit that like button. That is the one rule for tonight. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Let me write that in the chat as well. Hit the like button as you come in. Okay, it's a free way to support the channel. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Please hit that like button as you come in. That's the one rule over here. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Let us start. Let's give the people what they came for. Okay, so we'll start with the Wendy story and then we'll talk about the other things. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so it seems like Wesleyan University is dropping Wendy from teaching amid fraud scandal. Now, just to give you guys some context, I actually didn't realize that Wendy was still teaching. I thought that she quit her position as a professor. So I suspect maybe maybe this is a different, completely different job. But whatever it is, I think that it's not looking too good for Wendy right now. And this is the saddest part of the whole thing. It's like you're losing all of the things that you worked hard for one day at a time. So yeah, absolutely, absolutely so sad. Um, so it's not looking too good for Dr. Wendy. Wesleyan University has officially confirmed that she has been replaced in her sociology course following all the chaos surrounding her name. It's like, sis, you are a professor. Like, why would you be getting involved in things like this? According to the Wesleyan Argus, Associate Professor Courtney has now taken over Wendy's class. Wow, the sociology of reality TV, race, colorism, and xenophobia for the rest of the semester. Students were reportedly notified through an email from the All Tribune Center director who explained that Wendy will no longer be teaching. Some students say the news came as a shock, describing Wendy as cool and funny in class. Imagine your students are like, this is shocking. Oh, that is the worst thing ever. It's like never in a million years would I expect my teacher to get arrested for anything. Like, not to talk of fraud, of all things. Like, absolutely bananas. One even said they were emailing her about an assignment when they learned she won't be coming back. Oh, ain't that crazy? Imagine. As a reminder, Wendy, not a reminder, Wendy and her husband were hit with 16 counts, including felonies, um, felony insurance fraud, conspiracy and making false statements to the police after allegedly staging a home burglary and claiming nearly $500,000 in fake insurance losses. Someone said, "What happened to innocent until proven guilty?" Yo, that's the thing with the amount of emails, the fact that there's emails, the fact that there's allegations about wearing a ring, nobody is really believing that she is innocent. But we're still going to say allegedly over here. So I'm not surprised that they're choosing to pull them out. Hi, Giselle. Hello. Good afternoon, good evening. Um, but yeah, I'm not surprised that like the university are choosing to drop her off. At the end of the day, when you think about a professor or doctor or anybody, you expect you expect a certain level you expect a certain level of knowledge, you expect a certain level of um you expect the way they carry themselves to be different. Let's just say that you expect the way they carry themselves to be different, and so as a professor, imagine you're seeing your professor's mugshot and then you have to come back to school and listen to what your professor is saying. Like, let's be honest, you're probably not going to be respecting anybody anyway. So it's like, what's the point? She might as well go quietly. But it's such a shame because this is just this just breeds more life into the scandal. But yeah, it really is so sad, honestly. Good evening, Tommy. How are you? Hope you're good. This is so sad for Wendy. I completely agree. I just think it didn't need to be like this. And it is very, very sad. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and it's a huge example of fall from grace. And that is it's the saddest thing I've ever encountered in a long time. When it's like someone seems like things were going so well for them. This is like the perfect examples of when they say like your enemies finally got you. Like they've been chasing you from the village because it's like, yo, how can it be that things are going so well for you? You're on wife swap, things are going well, you're getting great edits, you're getting all these amazing speaking engagements, and then now, boom, you're losing and everything is just going downhill. So you guys know we like a good disagreement. Giselle said, "I don't feel bad for Wendy." Why don't you feel bad for Wendy? Do you feel like have you always felt like she has been like this? And the rest of us just didn't see it. I'm very curious, Giselle. What do you think? I wonder if she'll be able to come back from this. I wonder as well. I feel like if she plays her cards right, she will be able to come back from it. But I don't know if she's going to play her cards right. Because think about it. Smiling in a mugshot is diabolical. Let's just be honest, right? And so I don't know whether or not the humility that will be required to take her from this to sort of working it back and being able to come back from it. I don't necessarily know whether she has the level of humility that is required. You know, when you're like very humble and you get caught in stuff and you just put your hand up and say, "Do you know what? I put my hand up. I'm so sorry. My bad. I shouldn't have done this." People are more likely to be rallying around you. People are more likely to support you and stuff. versus in situations like this when people are like, yeah, nah, you don't have the humility required. Giselle says she knew the consequences. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Well, if the way she's smiling is any indication, honey, she is ready to do the time. Look at her face, smiling like I got this. Like I got this in the bag. So yeah. But it is I think two things can be true. I agree that don't do a crime if you don't want to do time. But at the same time, I still low-key feel quite sad for her. And particularly those beautiful children, because I'm just like, imagine you thought your parents were such on the up and up, people that you can look up to, and then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, I don't get it. My parents are not who I thought they were. And then you have to see your mom pretty much out here smiling in a freaking mugshot. And then your daddy looks high, allegedly. Like, it doesn't look good. Tommy says, I think they were on something in these mugshots because there's no way you're smiling so wide. Sis, this is the thing. I don't think Wendy was on something. I think Wendy did not know the extent of mess that she was in. She does, when someone thinks like they're so smart, they covered their tracks, they probably didn't think that the investigation was that deep and has uncovered as much stuff as it had uncovered. So I feel like this smile is almost giving the impression like, I got this, I didn't really do much. I didn't do anything. They have nothing on me. I'm going to get out of this. So I think that's what it is versus Eddie. Eddie looks high on his supply, allegedly. Eddie looks like he was unhappy Eddie because he just looks like he couldn't even keep his eyes open. So I just think low key, this smile is diabolical, honestly. And but when I look at her eyes, I don't really think that her eyes give the impression that she was on the happy Eddie. For such a smart lady, she made the dumbest decision of her life. Shake my head. Absolutely. And I think that is why I find it so sad because it's like, I, the bit that I find so sad is like, you work so hard all your life. You'd had 4 degrees. It wasn't easy getting those 4 degrees, I'm sure. You work your ass off to get 4 degrees, only to then throw away your accolades by doing something so stupid. And now, your diabolical smile is what we will all remember for a long time if you don't figure out a way to work this around, and rise from the ashes like a phoenix. So it's definitely the dumbest decision of her life. I don't even know like how she can get away with it. I don't even think that is possible. Um is definitely looking like some time will be done. But I don't know how long the time would be. But yeah, I'm just in general, I just feel bad that somebody of that magnitude could throw away their life like that. That is it. But it's, to be honest, it's a lesson for all of us. You know, don't make or don't make lifelong decisions based on temporary feelings. They were probably broke or in debt at the time, and then the next thing everything is out and everything has fallen off in their faces. um a mugshot looks creepy and cringe. I agree. Like, it's like, first I feel like the wig could have been better, but I'm just like, okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe the wig could have been better. It feels like it's so close to her forehead. I need her to just pull that wig a little bit backwards, just a little bit, a tad bit. Like, it looks like she doesn't have a forehead right now. And I feel like that then brings more attention to her face. And then her then smiling is like, girl, what are we smiling about? This is not a thing of joy. So, but I wish everybody, all parties involved, the best. We will continue to follow the story and see what happens. But do you guys think that they should have made her step down? Do you think that they should have made her step down, or do you think that they should have waited until the final sort of sentencing hearing, or at least the first hearing where we find out if they are pleading guilty or not guilty? Do you think they should have waited, or do you think the university did the right thing? Sorry, I was over here drinking water. But yeah, put it in the chat. Do you feel like they did the right thing um by getting someone to replace Wendy at the university straight away? Or do you think that they should have waited until the court decides whether Wendy is guilty or not? Let me know in the chat. They were probably trying to live up to the Bravo lifestyle. Yes, but the thing is, they weren't even on like they weren't even on like Real Housewives of Atlanta, for instance, right? The Atlanta girls show off, they tend to live above their means, they tend to like have a particular lifestyle. That's what the Atlanta is about, like the Real Housewives of Atlanta. However, Potomac is like one of the calmest franchises to be on, right? They don't have a lot of money, or at least they don't show off wealth. They don't give wealth. It doesn't give wealth. So it's like, why did you have to keep up with a lifestyle that wasn't even expected on the show that you were on? Look at everybody on the show. Giselle seems like a regular ass lady. Same as Ashley, right? I've never thought, oh my goodness, Ashley and Giselle have money. Never ever thought that. And so I just think I don't even understand why they felt like they had to do that. It doesn't make sense. These establishments care mostly about their image. They don't really care about the case. Plus, she's having the worst PR right now, so it is expected. Absolutely, I agree. I think that the university are just like, okay, we can't afford this mess. Also, we need to be seen to make, you know, make certain decisions. We can't be seen to be on the side of somebody that has been accused of fraud. This is also about the integrity of the business of the university, right? So yeah, I just think that it's all very sad, honestly. I don't even know what else to say. Not ashy. Uh, but yeah. Um okay, so let's move on from Miss Wendy, honey. Let's move on. Sad situation, but let's move on from Wendy. Okay, let's talk about Kmichelle. So, just to give a little bit of context, right? There has been some rumors going around about Kmichelle putting pause on Drew. You guys know we had talked about how we feel like who do we think is fighting with Kmichelle? And you guys know we're one of the first people, if not the first people, to talk about how we believe it could be Kmichelle and Drew. And guess what it was? Kmichelle and Drew. Anyway, rumors have been flying around that K Michelle basically swung on Drew. So K Michelle is like, you guys are not going to have me out here looking crazy. I need to correct this. Please and thank you. So K Michelle comes out and says, stop lying on me. I haven't swung or had any type of physical altercation with anyone in years. I have a whole career and well, I almost said a whole lot, but she didn't say that. And a lot I'm working towards. I'm a grown woman. It's not cute or cool. Leave me alone. And then she says to make up something like that and paint me as violent of any sort is crazy. It's a complete lie. I don't fight. I'm grown. Leave me alone. Okay. So you've heard it from her. And then there's another one, the audacity. I would never fight someone whose edges and eyebrow. Oh. I would never fight someone whose edges and eyebrows are in a fight daily. Leave me out of it. Whoa. I don't even know whose edges and eyebrows because Drew always be looking good. If you say her hair don't be looking good all the time, sure. Since she left that go naked hair, I think her hair has been looking questionable. But for you to basically say that eyebrows and edges are looking like they're in a fight, like girl, Kmichelle still has a mouth on her. I guess that never ends or that never goes away. But I do think I am a little bit annoyed because I feel like we're getting too much information, and I don't want to know all of this information about Real Housewives of Atlanta before Real Housewives of Atlanta finally comes out. Like, leave some things for the imagination. I don't need to know all of this is going on in the background. And we're talking about people's edges, we're talking about people's hair, we're talking about people's eyebrows. Like, what is going on? Do we have to talk about all these things on X? Can't we just wait to see the show? Can't we wait to see what happens? Like genuinely, I would like to wait to see what happens on the show, you know? But here we are. And they just, yep, they need to stop tweeting. Let's just watch the show. Absolutely. And it really takes the joy away from watching the show because it's like you've given us all the sneak peeks. We know what is going on. We know what is going to happen. Now we know who K Michelle is fighting with. We didn't need to know that. Excuse me. They could have kept that one. Let us be speculating. Ooh, is K Michelle clashing with somebody? Let's be speculating. Instead of the fact that we know what it's about, we know that it wasn't a physical fight, like leave some things to the imagination. Let's just be out here thinking the girls are fighting and that's it. We don't know who the girls are. We don't know what the fight is about. Like, that is how it should be. Now, somebody said K Michelle is going to give us comedy gold this upcoming season. See it. I hope so. I think K Michelle is good TV. I was one of the people, and I still stand by that, where I feel like K Michelle may be a good addition to the show. Um, but I definitely want to see how she interacts with the cast members first. Because sometimes, like, let's give an example. Phaedra. Phaedra was really good on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she wasn't that good on Married to Medicine. She just didn't gel with the cast mates like that, right? So just because Kimmy shows good TV, you need an ensemble cast. And I think that's what people are starting to realize, that just because somebody is great on TV does not mean that they can stand alone. Everyone needs a good cast. Even if they're the star, there should be a great supporting cast. And I think with Real Housewives of Atlanta, I don't think just one person is the star as such. I think that it's the cast that brings it all together, right? Because when you think about people like Portia thrived in the earlier seasons when there were people like Nene and Sheree, and it was like they all bounced off each other very, very well, as opposed to maybe even the last season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, where that ensemble cast just was not present, right? So I don't think anyone is an island and all by themselves. But I will be curious to see what K Michelle brings to this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Someone says, I love Kay, but she ain't the one to talk about appearances. If I was Drew, I would eat her up. Ooh. What do you mean? Kay Michelle is a beautiful girl. But then I guess she's had a lot of surgery, so maybe that's the one thing that she can use. I really don't like her for this show. I'm sorry. Raw is at the end of the road with this new addition. All they had to do is bring Nene back and we could have settled this mess. I'm not being funny, but would you bring back someone that accused you of doing white powder, allegedly? Like, and all sorts of stuff? No, I personally would not bring back anyone that accuses me of such at work. I'm not going to do that. Drew's wig is sitting in a far better position than K Michelle's. Like, girl. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see. Let's move on to Stacy. So you guys know that on this season of Real Housewives of Potomac, one of the things that came up was that Stacy was not divorced. And Giselle made a joke about it, saying she knows what her divorce looks like, and that Stacy, there's no way Stacy is divorced. So, well, sounds like the documents have been obtained by TMZ. So shout out to the Bravo Shade Room for covering this. Apparently, according to legal documents, Stacy and her ex-husband divorced last year. There was a final decree that was entered on December the 16th, although it is still under seal, so it is not made public record. Apparently the doc showed that he filed for divorce in early December, saying the couple married in Germany in September 2007 and had separated since August 2023. He said they apparently hammered out a quick settlement as there was no hope of possibility of reconciliation between the parties. So that's very, very interesting because it's like, how did they go from no possibility of um reconciling to suddenly reconciling and now, getting back together? So, I'm all for love, so I'm never going to be like, oh, what is that about? But at the same time, it's like, okay, they went from no possibility to now they are reconciling. I guess it happens. Giselle even claimed that Stacy went to an app and made her divorce documents. Yes, she did. But we know there were actual divorce docs filed with the court. Stacy and her husband are now back together, and that's her storyline this season. She told viewers her and her husband decided to reconcile during a family Christmas getaway to Mexico with their daughter, after she found out on the trip that they were officially divorced. So it seems our timeline matches with the dates on the legal filings. Okay. As for Stacy's divorce was met with doubts on RHOP. Um, to be honest, I get why it was met with doubts. I'm not being completely like delusional or whatever. I feel like I can understand why it was met with doubt because the whole TJ business was hella suspicious, I would say that. Thomas Anthony, TJ Jones, Stacey and TJ broke up, and during the reunion, he told one of the husbands she paid him to be on the show because she needed a storyline, and now her castmates are wondering if the whole divorce and getting back with her ex is just for a storyline too. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I understand why the castmates may have felt that way because if you are out here, you couldn't deny and call the man to clarify about paying him to be on the show. And then all of a sudden we're meant to believe that you are divorced but now back with your ex. Like, of course, your credibility is already shattered by the whole TJ accusation. So I understand the girlies being like, is she really divorced? Tommy's bestie is Stacy. She said, "My girl Stacy has been vindicated again. Still we rise. We rise." That's hilarious. You and your Stacy boo. But yeah, in this case, Stacy has been vindicated. I'm not even gonna lie. Stacy has been vindicated. Sounds like she's divorced for real. But do you think I don't want to speculate, but I feel like the interaction between her ex-husband and her at the table was not giving anything. So I don't know, honestly. I do not know. Obashi can eat her own words now. Ashley is not gonna take nothing back. I can bet that. Ashley is not gonna take it back. Ashley's gonna be like, I said what the heck I said. Okay. All right. Okay, someone said I couldn't care less about whether or not she's married or if her breast stinks. I love me some Stacy. Oh my gosh. That's the thing about the breath thing. Now the breath thing is following her everywhere. And Stacy is, does she have veneers? Because I've also heard of like some people that have veneers, apparently the breath be hot. And Stacy is so funny because she be knowing what's going on and acting clueless at the same dang time, keeping the girls on their toes. Stacy is vindicated. Is that good enough for you? Forehead Darby and neck Bryant. Not the neck, Bryant. I better see them apologize to Stacy. The girls were definitely giving Beta the season. Like, they are they upset that she couldn't reconcile with her ex, or that they couldn't reconcile with their ex-husbands. I couldn't understand why it was even a thing. If you hate Stacy, just say that. Yeah, yeah. I don't really think that's what it was. I think people have a short time span or short term memory because they like Stacy. Like, at the end of the day, if I find out that your man is telling us that you paid him to be here, then of course I will be questioning everything else from you because you did not put it to rest once and for all. So yeah. Okay, all right, let's move on. Look at Karen. Karen looks good. Karen looks good. Karen is back. Karen is definitely glowing. Yeah, all right, sis. Karen is going to be on Potomac soon at this rate. Maybe not on this season. It'll have to be the next season. I suspect that. So Ashley had something to say, so I'm going to play and we'll talk about it.
Last week, well,
I'm going to have to keep pausing because I just don't want to get copyrighted. I don't know if this is one of the things I could get copyrighted for, but I do not want to take the risk. Ooh, Tommy keeping for her bestie. She says, I think TJ is a liar and a clout chaser. He should bring the receipts. In the words of Mariah, bring the receipts. Should I bring the receipts? Um, yeah, honestly, I don't know. I feel like I don't believe that TJ is lying about everything. I think there's some truth to what he said. And I say that because who would not want to clear their name and just be like, put him on the phone right now? So I feel like there is something there. I think Stacey is not being completely honest. And I feel like TJ is not being completely honest. There is a little something that they both know the truth about.
while I was in New York and I was actually coming home on the train, my mom informed me that my father had passed away. And if
Oh, that is very sad. You can tell from her eyes that, yeah, it definitely is something that like hurt her. Um
you saw, I believe it was season 5 of the show, I believe it was season 5, I tried to meet my dad. I've never met him, never spoken a word to him. We've had no conversation. And he's closed the door in my face. And today was his funeral. And I contemplated going, almost to have my own sense of closure. But I've been traveling so much and I really wanted to be with my own kids this weekend. And my rationale was, why would I want to take away time from my own kids for someone who never made time for me? I found out that I have siblings and all of the things that I had no idea about my father, I learned about in his obituary.
ooh, that must have really hurt. That must have really, really hurt. Like finding out things about your father from something that was written about him. That must have really stung.
I learned he liked to garden. He taught himself how to play guitar. He was an avid fisher. Last week, while I was in New York, say something to my daughter, and really so many of the things that I also love to do. And it said in the obituary that his greatest accomplishment was being a dad to his 2 sons.
Eee. Eee. Oh my gosh. That must have hurt. Because think about it, it's like you have a dad and he's like, ooh, Yeah, my greatest joy is being a father to two children, and you're the third child. It's like, okay, like, so I'm not included in that.
Stung a little bit, whatever. But, you know, it's interesting how you can mourn and have some sort of grieving, a unique form of grieving for someone who you have no relationship with, right? Just blood relations, but no emotional connection. Like, that is so.
You're grieving what you would have wanted to have. It's like you're grieving the idea of a father, right? Even though the person was not a father to you, they were your father, right? And so you're grieving the relationship you didn't have and the relationship you would never get to have. Because the thing is, when you think about your father still being alive, you think, okay, even though we're not cool now, there's still an opportunity for us to get cool in the future. But I think what Ashley is dealing with is like the loss of, we're never going to be cool because he passed away before we could even get cool. So you're mourning the fact that you never had a dad, and now you will never have a dad because this man has passed on. And so, yes, you can still grieve somebody that you never really experienced them in your life.
I guess what I ultimately surmise from this experience of my life at 37 is really learning to close a door. A door that was never opened, but also will never be opened. I think I've always held out some.
Did you guys hear that? Which is exactly what I just said. And bear in mind, I haven't watched this clip. This is the first time I'm watching it with you guys. Sorry, I'm just so thirsty. So I'm drinking water as I'm going along. But when I say that I hadn't heard what she said, but what she's saying is basically what I had said, which is mourning the loss of someone that you never had, right? Because low-key, you were holding out hope that things would be better and you get the opportunity to have a relationship with them.
Some sort of hope that maybe, like, apparently my dad was in hospice, maybe prior to him passing, he would have this sudden wave of consciousness, or conscience, excuse me, to be like, oh, let me at least, like, make amends or determine really so many of the things that I also taught her, but nothing like that, you know? And it's just so weird. I really can't understand how any human being doesn't want to love their children or can't love a child, but it is what it is, and life will certainly go on.
Yes, girl. And I know that you are bothered about it. So please get yourself some therapy. If you have not gotten yourself some therapy, make sure you find a therapist who is a grief counselor of some sort or has some experience counseling people who have experienced losses. Because even though he was not in your life, I think you're also mourning the fact that he has never been in your life and he chose not to be in your life and still did not even wake up in the like later on thinking about, oh, I want to be in Ashley's life. And in the end, but he still got to be a father to two people that weren't you. So you need to deal with all of those emotions with your therapist. If not, it will show up in other areas. And I think low key, it probably already shows up. And maybe that's why you don't really have empathy for people because you feel like no one really understands what you're going through when it comes to your relationship with your bio father.
All right, have a great evening, babes. Okay, and also, you guys know I'm pretty superstitious. I'm very spiritual. I look at the signs. I'm very perceptive of those things. The day that I was leaving to go to New York, these black crows were circling my house, and they were all in my yard. And I called my mom. Well, I took a picture first, and then I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, why are all of these crows circling my house, up, sitting on my roof, circling up in the sky, in my yard? There were 4 crows in my yard. I've never experienced that. This is before my mom and I knew about my dad going into hospice. I was aware that he had cancer. Apparently, he had cancer that spread through his whole body fairly quickly. But yeah, say something to my daughter.
Wow, that is very, very sad. Let's see what the comments are saying. Bye. She was just rejoicing on Wendy's downfall. We don't care. Oh, girl, you are not playing with her. But I hear what you're saying. It's very hard to feel sorry for Ashley because she is always in somebody's business and she never seems to give anybody any empathy. But that being said, I feel like I would just be like, I'm an easy one when it comes to like people dying or something. Like, you're gonna get me every time because I will always have empathy regardless. I'm like, sorry, Ashley, good luck with whatever it is you're going through right now. Tori B says you all need to be doing lives about this administration and not investing so much in these people's lives you all know nothing about. Well, Tori, thank you for joining the party. As you can see, we are playing the clips, addressing it, and talking about it. That's what we do over here. So you can either join the conversation or keep it moving. Thank you. Hit that like button, guys. As you guys come in, hit that like button. And not everyone lives in wherever you're talking about, because you're talking about you all need to be doing lives about this administration. I don't know what administration you're talking about, but I don't live wherever that is. Just FYI. Okay, so let's move on. All right, let me see. Excuse me, because I had a few things I wanted to show you guys. I think this one is low key slightly different, but I feel like it needs to be said. And I want to apologize in advance for certain parts that were quite loud. But I really feel like it's an important conversation that we need to be having. So I'm gonna play that for you guys. Let me share that screen. Give me a second. Let me share this tab instead.
But you enjoy.
Okay, so let me refresh this so this starts where it needs to start. And I want you guys to hear what these people are saying. Okay, so you don't miss it.
But you got service for free.
For free, that free
The
bus.
perks
Tell
of
them
the
again
family business.
for your birthday. And I
Oh,
tell the truth.
Oh, what's she doing?
I think I was 14 or something like that, and she.
I'm gonna pause that there. This man was 14, so he was a boy at the time. He was 14 when this thing that they are going to describe happened. So just putting that out there for context, guys. He was a 14-year-old, so he was underage.
So I had a full blown party, and we in hood, like
Right.
Okay.
full blown. Everybody came because they, we popular in the hood, you know what I mean?
then I had the
So
whole.
look, she had the whole.
And
So
so-
hold on, mama
Okay,
said,
go
let
ahead,
me
you
say
tell
it,
her.
let me tell it. Like, man, mama said, hey, come on, let's get it started.
Blew the whistle.
Boom.
Put the girls out. How about they went and got their parents?
Yeah.
Oh,
cause
what?
we
The
had,
girls. 'Cause the little
nah, 'cause
girls.
my mama had.
Now the young
My
teenager
mama
girls.
had strippers in them.
Right.
Yeah.
For my
Got
14th
rid,
birthday.
got rid of the
So
school
they
girls
really
and
got-
brought the real ladies in. The grown
exactly.
Yeah.
women.
Let's pause there. This man at 14 as a child, his mom brought strippers to his birthday party to be throwing that ass in a circle. Do you guys get how crazy that is at the age of 14? At the age of 14.
The grown women. And everybody came back. Everybody came back to the door. All the mamas came back like, hold on.
Come get me. I stood my ground 10 toes
Yeah,
down.
she was like, yeah, this my house though.
It's my house. It's going in my house. Going in my house.
If you got it,
So other parents were trying to basically step in, like, you cannot have this whole nonsense. And then she's like, oh, it's my house though. It's my house though. It's like, exactly, Tommy, what the hell? What the helly? Like, it's like, what is going on? It doesn't make any sense.
you got a son in here that don't need to be in here, please take him out.
Please call him out.
But we
need to get up out of here.
Well, yeah, we gonna do.
We
what
doing some things.
You know what I mean?
You know,
And people and these ones are just laughing. He was 14. He was a child. a child that should have been protected. I don't know what's funny about that. I just don't get it.
Because no,
and then look, and then when
wrong
she
with the
left, all the girls came back, and we continued the party.
Yeah, and that's how we
You
did.
feel me?
Yeah.
Hey,
For my 14th birthday party.
That's a hell of a party.
I ain't even know that was
birthday
going.
party story.
I wasn't even looking.
I was in there,
Bro, I wasn't even looking for nothing like that, bro. I was sitting there like the whole time, like strippers. I'm like, cause this is like when
my first
no, but when I look back,
was
no,
at
Everybody
Chuck E.
get cake,
Cheese.
right.
no, but look though, bro.
They
I
eat
look
cake.
back at.
That's where you should have been. Chuck E. Cheese. That's where you should have been. Like, that is crazy. And she's there looking like she is proud of what she did. And it's like sometimes these parents don't know how traumatizing some of the things that they put their children are. Because how are you there, like, practically excited to tell the story? Yeah, at 14, I told them this is my house. Like, sis, are you okay?
At it though, that was traumatizing. That was traumatizing.
I love that he told her that was traumatizing. And Nick Cannon is still over there, ha ha ha, laughing. Like, dude, stop it. It's the same way when men say that they were, taken advantage of, S8, raped, you know what I mean? People are there laughing. People are there laughing and kicking and making it seem like it's a joke. It's like it ain't a joke. This is the boy's innocence that was taken away from him. And think about who Scrappy is on the show and how he's always dealing with different women, clearly doesn't respect women, the way he talks to women, talks about women, clearly doesn't respect women. I wonder where he got it from. His mama, right? Even his mama doesn't respect women. She was a pimp, allegedly. So it's like, no respect for women. And you expect him to grow up and then suddenly have respect for women? Of course not.
Now after therapy,
So then she's like, oh, so you said the pussy was traumatizing. I'm like, why are you even offering this man pussy at 14 years old when he was a child? That is grooming. That is completely unacceptable behavior. That is absolutely disgusting behavior.
After therapy, money,
They say I pussy was traumatized.
Now wait a minute, you're in therapy.
Yeah.
Well,
So wait, are you in therapy too?
No, she not. I keep begging her to go to therapy. I keep begging her to go.
Because I think
Keep begging her,
he wants you to work through some of the.
Yeah, I would say even Lil Scrappy, I know he's saying he's in therapy, but you need to stay there even longer because you need a lot of therapy to unlearn some of the toxic messes that you grew up with. And I'm not even trying to be shady or anything, but growing up with someone like Mama D that has no boundaries, that does not know how to talk, that has placed you in sexually compromising situations from when you were a child. Yeah, you definitely need therapy. I'm not even surprised. I don't expect more from Mama D. Absolutely. But it's like you would expect her to also not be speaking about it like this was an amazing thing that she did. And he should be grateful that she brought the strippers over to him at age 14 because she wanted him to chase pussy. It doesn't make sense. Absolutely doesn't make sense. Traumatic AF. Yes, absolutely traumatic.
Trauma. All the trauma.
And what is disappointing is that the hosts are laughing so hard. I'm like, what is funny? What part of it? I didn't even laugh once. What part of this that this man has said is funny? This man, even like, let's say they didn't realize, okay, it wasn't a funny story, right? When he first started telling it, as soon as he said it was traumatic, they should have stopped laughing, but these people are still laughing. And that's why I feel like when it comes to men, sometimes people don't take the plight of men seriously. It just doesn't make any sense. Because if it was a woman that said that, the way everywhere would get quiet, and I'm not keeping for men, I love women, but the way everyone will get quiet and be like, yo, why would the father ever do that to their daughter? Da, da, da. And I'm like, yes. And in this situation, I need you all to have that same energy for Mama D, because that is unacceptable. That is child exploitation.
Most 14-year-olds is getting bikes or something.
Exactly. They're getting bikes, not getting harassed and, danced on by strippers.
For their birthday.
No,
you giving this nigga bitches.
That is crazy.
Against the LGBT community, but I just wanted him to chase pussy than total purse. That's all I'm saying.
So she wanted him to be straight, is basically what she's saying. And now he spent all his life basically chasing the puss. Chasing the puss everywhere. Right? Is that what you want?
Okay. That's all I was trying to do. In my defense.
That's called
in my defense. All hands on. But you enjoyed it.
Did you hear that? But you enjoyed it. And then Nick had the audacity to laugh. Are you okay, bro? Look at his head up. Like he was having a proper laugh. I'm like, sir, what is funny? This man just said he was traumatized. And you're over here laughing. Like, what?
Service for free.
For free. That free
The perks of the family business.
For your birthday. And I
Oh,
tell the truth.
What you doing?
I think I was 14.
Yeah. And let me see what the comments. Let's see whether the comments are also like people in the comments are also sensible. Someone said they're laughing, but Scrappy is serious about being traumatized. Imagine if father got male strippers for his daughter's 14th birthday. Would they laugh then? Exactly what I was saying. If a father did this to his daughter, then there definitely wouldn't be anybody laughing. It's sad nobody takes our trauma seriously. Someone says, shout out to the other parents at the party who stepped in and called her out, and shout out to Scrappy for admitting it was trauma instead of glorifying it like other rappers. I want to see the same outrage y'all put on Bozy. What's the status of limitations on child endangerment? Good question. This is why he has no respect for women. Yep. Absolutely. I believe that with all of my heart. It's like when you grow up with somebody like Mama D, of course you don't have respect for women. And she think it's cool to this day. That boy is traumatized. Someone said a lot went on in that palace. Interesting. Okay. Let me see. Is there anything else that I have missed? I'm just trying to make sure I've covered all of the things that I wanted to cover today. So let's cover Wendy. Let me just check the chats. I can't believe the words that are coming out of his mom's mouth. Jesus. Yep. She gives no F, and she's just looking like everybody, you lot are overreacting. It's obvious she thinks everybody's overreacting, and she did the best thing for him by introducing him to some strippers at age 14. Absolutely ridiculous. Now let's talk about Wendy Williams. How you doing? I miss Wendy and her "How You Doing" segments. I miss Wendy in general. I wish that she would come back on the screen. But in the meantime, let's hopefully help her get out of this conservatorship or whatever it's called. So Wendy reportedly didn't know that she was paying $25,000 in rent until she read it in a magazine. Do you know how crazy that is? These people are out here just spending your money like crazy. And then you have to find out that they're paying $25,000 in rent in a magazine. She was told it was 18K. Her guardian is draining her money. It's like, first of all, why does she have so much access to the funds? And why is she able to make outrageous purchases or expenses like that? It doesn't make any sense. So this saga between Wendy and her guardian is getting worse. Even though Wendy is actively trying to be released from her guardianship, she has been unsuccessful. Recently, she was featured in in the cover story in New York Magazine. While reading her profile, she learned how much her rent actually was in real time, and it gave her a major cause for concern. Anybody who knows and has watched Wendy knows Wendy does not believe in wasting money. Wendy don't be spending like that. She is very, very careful about her money. So I'm sure she was disappointed and annoyed that this lady was paying that much for her. According to a source who spoke with Page 6, Wendy was under the impression that she was paying 18,000 in rent for her New York studio apartment. 18,000 for a studio apartment is crazy. That is a lot of money for a studio apartment. And I bet that apartment ain't even that big. It probably has a good view though. Which she calls a luxury dump. Yep, I'm with her on that. It wasn't until she read the magazine that she learned that rent is actually $25,000 a month. Wendy was reportedly appalled and concerned given she has no income at the moment. Exactly. It's almost like these people want to run her dry. I just don't get it. So then she said Wendy was, yeah, I've already read that. She believes Sabrina is draining her money. She doesn't even know how much she's worth. Wow, that is awful. Imagine you work so hard for your money and then someone comes from nowhere and and they're trying to drain your funds. Because if she's spending like this on rent, what else is she spending money on? And this is money that is meant to help Wendy into her retirement because she is not on TV right now. She may never get the opportunity to come back on TV right ever again. So she needs funds for the rest of her life. She believes Sabrina is draining her money. She doesn't even know how much she's worth. She's very concerned about it. She was told 18,000 and now she's reading it's 25. They're draining her money. Like, why 25,000 a month for a studio at the Coterie? She's furious. Wendy alleges Whoa. Oh my gosh, that is horrible. Wendy receives only $200 to $300 a month for allowance. That is horrible. That is horrible. Like, how are you going to take this woman's money? Give her a property that is overly expensive and is not good value for money, but then give her $300 a month for allowance. Like $300 a month is not even enough for regular folks. Not the Wendy Williams. So these people, something ain't clean in the buttermilk. It's so weird. Somebody save Wendy like they did Britney. We know somebody's spending her money. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's time for everyone to do a petition to get the judge and the guardian questioned and release Wendy from the whole situation. If someone sets it up, send me a link and I will push it, do whatever it is that I need to do from my end. Because it's absolutely outrageous. Okay. So you guys know I covered Katie Rust post yesterday, so here is the post. I know that Ashley has responded, but I don't know if these people have covered it. If not, so I'll find a different outlet that has covered it. Where are you at? Okay. So Ashley responded to the fact that she had allegedly had relations with Katie Roast. She says that false story is gross beyond words. I don't argue with mentally unstable people. So do you believe Katie when she says Ashley basically ate her, you know what? Um, or do you believe that Ashley is telling the truth and Ashley does or has not done that with Katie? Because this is crazy. Like, where are we? Where if we're out here lying about or even speaking about who we're giving cat to? It's weird. Hey Berlin, how are you? Hope you're good. And yeah, you said what a day today. Yeah, it has been a day, hasn't it? Yeah. Even I'm just like I'm counting at this point, I'm just like it needs to be one or two more stories or I'm out and I'm out for the day. I am tired. Okay, let me see. Is there anything else to talk about? Tommy, have I covered everything? Please let me know if I missed anything out. So far, I feel like I have covered everything. Do you think I covered everything? I don't see anything. Let me just do a quick refresh of the page. Okay, so there seems to be an update. Wesleyan University confirms Wendy resigned from her professor position but was not fired. So this is an update. So the school released a statement to TMZ on Tuesday saying Wendy is no longer an employee of Wesleyan University. Okay. Yeah. The teaching assistants even expressed similar thoughts. It was a shock. Having taken her class last fall, I didn't expect it. I hope she's well and we'll find out more when the news comes out. I just felt she was pretty cool. She would crack jokes and stuff. And let me read another quote. I was literally writing an email that morning. I found out asking her about an assignment that was supposed to be due this week. I just finished grabbing lunch at Usden and ran into one of my classmates and it was just like, yo, did you see the news? And I was like, what news? And he said, our professor got arrested. Oh my God, this is terrible. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I just met her last week. And then he showed me an Instagram post saying she and her husband got arrested for fraud. I couldn't believe it. That is absolutely awful. That is absolutely awful. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ashley did kiss Jacqueline last season. Yes. So do you think that it moved on further than that? Because Katie, from what I'm reading, Katie sounds like she's alluding to them doing more than that. So that would be interesting. Yes. So Angelo's passing. Let me see if I can cover that really quickly. So D'Angelo and Angie Stone's son speaks out amid his father's passing. So first of all, RIP to D'Angelo. And his son is basically saying it's been a rough and sad year for me, but one thing that both of my parents taught me was to be strong. Aw, poor thing. In his statement, Michael Archie II says he was devastated by the passing and admits it's been a rough year. And as you know, his mom, Angie, passed away in March. Wow. Wow. Nah, this man needs some prayers. And he is saying, I'm grateful for your thoughts and prayers during this very difficult times. That has been a rough and sad year for me. I ask that you continue to keep me in your thoughts as this is not easy. But one thing that both my parents taught me was to be strong, and I intend to just do that. Yeah, guys, please, when next you're praying, pray for the family. It's one thing to lose one parent, it's awful. don't wish it on anybody. And then to then lose two parents within the same year. So yeah, this man definitely needs our prayers, our thoughts, our support. So yeah, but RIP to his dad and his mom. Yeah, it's definitely very, very sad, honestly. Very, very sad. But yeah, on that note, you guys, I don't know what's happened to me today, but I am so tired. Like, I feel like if I stay up with you guys, I might sleep off before I know it. When imagine I'm out here sleeping and snoring whilst I'm on live. So better for me to go now so that I can go and sleep in my bed comfortably, and I won't be out here snoring in your ears. But anyway, thanks for hanging with me. Thanks to everybody who was in the chat. Really appreciate you guys swinging by. Please hit that like button, everyone. Hi, Replay Gang. Please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on your notifications so you know every single time that I post or go live. And thank you so much for hanging with us. And have a wonderful night. And we'll